Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm your host, Travis Reed, on the athlete's journey. I finally got my big brother on here, a person I've admired for many, many years of my basketball career, who taught me so much all the way back from high school to college. And like I said, he's the only person that I was with in high school and in college. We both went to the same high school and went to the same college. Like I said, he's just like a person that, like I said, I've always looked up to. And I always felt when I was in high school, when I played against him and Tremaine Folks, wasn't nobody better than them. Anybody I went against. I went against NBA dudes, Elton Brand, a bunch of guys, but I was like, ain't nobody better than Chris and Tremaine. So
Thank you, Travis. Thank you. That's mighty kind of you. But we know different, you know. The McDonald's All-American selection that year said differently. So.
Right. I always felt like you and Trey should have won. I always felt like that. But I just want to introduce my big brother, Kris Johnson. Like I said, I'm just happy and honored for him to be on my show.
Travis, I got the check for you in the mail, man. Those all those nice things you had to say, man. Golly. But man, I appreciate you, man. Finally got on your show. Keep up the great work, man. I've been watching, keep my eye on what you've been doing, and very good work, my brother. A wide variety of guest stories and things surrounding the athlete, and I love it, man. Keep it up.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, like I said, I took my cue a little bit off yourself, just like doing these 5Ks. Chris don't know that I started doing 5Ks as I saw him do a 5K. I was like, oh, Chris doing that? So, okay, let me try this.
Oh, okay. That's funny. How did you end up doing your 5K?
Pretty much the last one I just did was on Thanksgiving Day. I told myself I'm gonna work out good so I can eat whatever I want when I get
smart. That's smart.
You know what I'm saying? And so the funny thing is I wasn't the only person thinking like that. Everybody was out there like, look, I got the turkey and the ham in the oven right now. So we gonna just do this 5K and get back home and cook.
Yeah.
So I feel like I said, it's my
You keep your time? You keep your time? Do you keep your times of your 5K? What's your time? Have you seen a steady improvement, or is it kind of the similar times, or are they worse?
No, they're better. Like pretty much what happened. Like I lost since the last 5K, which was 2019. Before pre-COVID, I went down about 7 minutes.
Okay, wow, that's big time, man. Good job.
Yeah, but I lost about 20 pounds. So.
Yeah, they're tough to run, man. They're tough to run. I walk run it. I couldn't at the time. I couldn't run the whole thing. I think that might have been why I got my little hip injury now. But I pushed myself a little bit. But I did it for a great cause. It was for a military cause, and so I had to do it.
No. Like I said, I respect it, and like I said, I respect people who do it. They have those professional people that finish the 5K in like 17 minutes.
Ridiculous.
But they have, for me, I jogged. I didn't know.
As you should.
Yeah.
Just finish. Yeah. Just show up and be there and start and then finish. See that finish line, run through that dang on finish line the right way, man. There's no better feeling.
Exactly how I felt. I was, like I said, whenever I do it and I get a medal, I'm actually, by the time I finish, okay, thank you. So I'd be sore for about 2 days after. I ain't gonna lie.
That's the worst part.
Yeah. I'd be, my butt, my back, running like concrete.
It'd be about another year before I ran another one. After I run one, I take off about a year. I'm like, I'm not doing this stuff again.
Well, I spread mine out about, form like one in the summer, and then one in the winter. That's pretty much one in the summer, one in the winter. So
that's good stuff, Trav.
All right, well, let's just get right into it, Chris. How did your basketball journey start?
Wow, that's a great question. I guess my journey started when I was 9-10 years old. My dad had signed me up for this basketball league at a park called Barrington Park, which is on the west side, over off of like Barrington and Wilshire and all that. So he signed me up, and I ended up playing on a pretty cool team. We had a tall 6-foot female as our center. I played the power forward, and it was, the competition wasn't the greatest, but it was my kind of first foray into competitive basketball. The funny story, my coach, a guy by the name of Beatty, Coach Beatty, his grandson is actually DeAnthony Melton that plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. So, I was getting some really good coaching and tutelage at an early age. Beatty was from the inner city, kind of knew my uncles, grew up around Dorsey and Dinker Park. That's a big baseball hotbed back in the days, because he coached me in basketball and baseball at Barrington. And but that's really where the journey started. And I didn't really love the game, Travis. I'll be completely honest. For a lot of people that may not know who I am or know my story, my dad played the NBA, so I was kind of surrounded and then indoctrinated into basketball from the womb. But I was, growing up in the game, you sort of have a different type of disposition than someone that doesn't grow up in the game. You take it for granted. So you take certain basketball experiences and interactions and things for granted because they happen so frequently and so often that you become immune to things like, hanging out in the locker room with Dr. J, or, meeting Michael Jordan, or hanging out with Kareem in Australia, or things like that. Just become like, yeah, that was kind of like, what I was doing, that's just, I was just over there, So all that to be said, at an early age, I was kind of like, I'm not really tripping on basketball because I was heavy set. I wasn't tall per se, but I was decent sized, but I was stocky, and I had a build more suited to play football or baseball. So, the running part of it too sucked, as you know, Travis, having to get up and down the freaking court all the time. I mean, that part of it that was a big thing for me. Like, I didn't want to play basketball because of the running, because of the sprinting. Travis, it would hurt your chest. You would be burning, and everybody be better than you and faster than you. And you just be looking like, I can't even make it up. I can't make it up the court. But that was my experience. I don't know if you had that experience at any point, Trav, but it's an experience that sort of leaves a foul taste in your mouth about a game. So I played, a lot of the reason I played was just, kind of to do something, to play. I couldn't wait for baseball and football season. But yes, Barrington Park, that's where my journey began.
So we just talked about it. So you were interested in playing baseball and football. Those are the main two sports that you wanted to play?
Yeah, I did play baseball and football. I started off with flag football back in the day. I was too heavy for Pop Warner because they had the weight limit. So I think I was well over 200 pounds. So I was playing flag football, on the defensive line. I was the defensive tackle, just sacks galore, just ridiculousness at the defensive tackle position. And then I played baseball, where I played all positions. Not all positions. Let me not just try to say I played everything. I didn't play second base. I didn't play shortstop, and I didn't play, and that's it. Those are the only positions I didn't play on the field in baseball. So I played pretty much everything else: catcher, pitcher, first base, third base, all that. And I love baseball. I had a great opportunity competing in a little league over in Encino called Encino Little League. And in my league at that time, it was a couple of guys that ended up playing in the major leagues. A pitcher by the name of Russ Ortiz. He pitched for the Giants and the Braves and all type of teams. And a hitter by the name of Brad Fulmer, who played for the Expos and the Angels. So these guys were in my league, but I led the league in homers, RBIs, and I was like fourth in batting. And I was sick in baseball. And so I was really kind of like, I'm gonna be a baseball guy. That was kind of my focus.
I understand that. So obviously, growing up in the LA, around the LA area, you was exposed to the AAU circuit, mainly Victoria Park. And I tell anybody that Victoria Park had anybody who was anybody back then played at Victoria Park in that Slam and Jam D with Izzy.
Oh yeah.
Izzy Washington. I remember, when I was playing, I was with my dad's Boys and Girls Club team. We played Shea. We was 11. They were like national number one in the nation. I'm like, what do you mean the number one in the nation? They were like number one in the United States. But yeah. Right. And they came and smacked us. About like 50 points. Shea got a dunk when he was 11.
Yeah.
You were like, that's Shea Cotton. Okay.
Sounds
that was
right.
So when you were, growing up in the, kind of the AAU circuit, playing with the, Slammer Jam team, can you explain like your experiences in that league?
Well, so just to give you the background on the AAU, I was kind of an outsider to the AAU circuit. So most of those guys had grown up together, had played together, since they was 11, 12, like you just said. When I was 11 and 12, I was like doing my own thing at Barrington and working out with my dad. So he kind of LeVar Balled it for me a little bit, in a sense, to where I always say he's the original LeVar Ball, because we had a whole workout thing set up at our house, and because he was trying to make a comeback to the NBA, and so we had a leaper, we had a weight thing, we had a hoop, we had a exercise bike, we had medicine balls, we had all type of stuff that we were doing in a hill that we would run. So I was on the workout and all this type of stuff during that era of when a lot of the guys, my contemporaries, were competing against each other, kind of like you and Shea, but like, Toby and Cameron Murray, or, Jelani Gardner, and, whoever else, Ricky Price, they were going at it since they were young, and they were at Victoria Park kind of. So I came in late. I came in, 14, 15 years old. My first actual AAU team was a team called Orange County PTI with Bob Gottlieb was the head coach.
I remember that.
So it was myself, Miles Simon, J.R. Henderson, Doug Gottlieb running the point. We had Bob, a fly-in dudes like Ronnie Henderson, who played at LSU, and we had Kyle Milling, big Kyle Milling, a white kid played at Oregon. And we had all type of dudes, just like beastie dudes. He coached, he ran a sort of a college system. So we were expected to remember out of bounds plays, after timeouts, coming out of halves. We had to know all type of stuff on the AAU level, and then the competitive nature of it. So we played at Victoria Park, and we would go around. I would meet up with these guys, or practice at Orange County. We go to the Anaheim Hilton and work out with Marv Maridovich and them, and be on that for a little bit, because Miles lived out there. So it was just a whole circuit of working out all over the Southern California area and playing with Orange County PTI. That's kind of what got me indoctrinated into the AAU world. By the time I was playing in the Slam and Jam heavy and competing, I was playing for my dad and Ed Waters, now the coach at Crenshaw. They made a team called Triple Threat, LA Triple Threat. So we competed in the Slam and Jam with Triple Threat. And Triple Threat was kind of a team that they had formed, which they allowed me to sort of play my full game, which included, handling the ball, pushing it, dimes, the whole nine. So I was able to kind of, play my own game in that under those circumstances with that AAU team. And so I flourished in the Slam and Jam League. So I was doing well, whoever we played, but it was still like, still like one of the most unbelievable scenes that you walk into as a youngster, when you walk in there and dudes are in those sick jerseys and those sick shorts with the LA gear, the catapults. They had the sick catapults, and some dudes was taped back then. I think they was taping. I was like, dang, now tape. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a real league. You see somebody taped, you're like, wait a minute, where y'all get taped? I'm looking for the trainer. I want that high tape too. Right. That looks sweet. I know my favorite. I think my first real just unbelievable memory of Slam and Jam was like, because I had thought I thought I was familiar with everybody all over, all the players. I thought I knew everybody back when I was like 14 or 15. But I walk in the gym and I'll never forget it, the team, they had the blue and the yellow. It was Charles's team and them, Charles O'Vannon, Vonnie Jones, Jock Vaughn, but Sonny Benjamin, Ori Benjamin, Corey's brother. I walk in the gym and he's like catching a lob or something. I'm just like, and it was a dude I did not know who he was. I was just like, what the hell? Like, God, it was such a sick lob that he caught. I was just like, dang, I know them dudes, and they got a dude that I don't know doing that. Like, then you start getting kind of nervous. Like, I hope we don't play them next game, because somebody's gonna get, we cared about getting dunked on.
No, of course.
We wasn't smiling and laughing and putting it on our page just so we can get views. No, we was trying to hide that, suppress the footage. Hey, Do not bring that up. Hey, you ain't talk about me getting dunked on either, dude, because we got a problem. Don't even talk about me getting dunked on. So look, I was scared. I was scared about getting dunked on.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I told you when I was 11, I saw Shay dunk. I was like, is everybody dunking?
Dude,
oh
Shay's
my God. That's
dude,
what I said. I was like, dude, I'm nervous because we a Boys and Girls Club team at the time.
Yeah.
My first 3 games at the Victoria Park, we played Shay's team, lost by 50. We played ARC with Jason and Jaron Collins, lost by like 30. Damn. And then we played K-Swish with Barron, lost by like 15-20.
Yeah. See, the funny thing is you get to like growing up in your own little bubble back then, you could have moments where you just felt like you were the most dominant dude in the state. Mm-hmm, and then you go to Victoria Park and it's like, dang, that's what I mean. It's like, dang, who are these dudes? Like, man, and it's typically the top 25 dudes in the state is up in the building, bro. And so that's why it was so you felt that way, because it's like you're looking at the cream of the crop and the elite. So that's why you're just so like gassed, like, oh my God, because you're watching the elite of the elite compete.
No, agreed. Like I remember we played Jason and Jaron, and then the next week they was on the cover of Cal High magazine.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and that was like that was our Sports Illustrated, like that was our thing right there.
Yeah, Cal High was the stuff. We lived and died with Cal High.
Agreed. And so I was going, my next question for you is like, obviously your dad is a legend at Crenshaw, right? But you start off your first 2 years at Montclair Prep, Can you explain like why didn't you go to Crenshaw from the start?
So I started in Montclair Prep actually in the 7th grade. So I went there. I went to Montclair in the 7th grade. Mm-hmm. Then my dad went to play into Italy in the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. So we went over there, and then I came back and went to Montclair Prep in the 9th grade. Mm-hmm. My dad when we came back from the 8th grade, I repeated the 8th grade at Emerson on the holdback move, and then restarted in Montclair Prep. So I had a history of Montclair Prep. Mm-hmm. I had some roots there. It was 7th grade, so I knew people. I knew everybody was still there, so I had a level of comfort there. My coach was a guy named Bob Webb, who played with my dad at UCLA, who I known very well throughout my childhood. So it was a level of comfort. He was like, Coach Webb was the first guy to really call me KJ all the time, and so he's KJ, man. What you want to come to Montclair, man? KJ, man, I'll let you go at Montclair, man, because we're looking at different schools and things and trying to figure out which route to take. Because back then it mattered as far as competitiveness and your level. Like now, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's a trip. They'll give you a chance, but back then they wouldn't even look at you. Right. You played a certain level. So the coaches now have evolved or whatever. But back then, so it was we had this sort of this dilemma of whether, what school we're going to go to, what we're going to do. Crenshaw has always been on the table. I think Crenshaw, I don't think it was 9th grade. Yeah, it was 9th grade. But I think it went 9th. I wonder if it went 9th grade. Your freshman year was the first year it went 9th grade. I just don't remember having 9th graders there my junior year. Mm-hmm. But maybe they did. But anyway, at the time of the decision to go, I was just like, I'm gonna be comfortable Montclair Prep. Mm-hmm. Went to Montclair Prep, which was a tiny prep school in Van Nuys, California, but had a tremendous athletic kind of history and program and emphasis, and the class sizes were small. Jason and Jaron actually started out in Montclair Prep in the 7th grade. The Collins twins, so they were there. I was a freshman. They were there in the 7th grade. We had a bunch of like just hoopers. Keyshawn Johnson was going to check in at one point. He came to visit the campus. Ended up being the #1 draft pick. Keyshawn. So Montclair Prep was live. Okay. Valley School, co-ed, live, it was just cracking. It was cracking on all levels. Mm-hmm. And it allowed me to be the man to sort of, play a lot, get my reps up coming from Italy. I spent my 8th grade year in Italy, kind of working on my game, trying to lose weight, trying to get better, practicing with my dad's first team, playing against a junior team, doing all those type of things to try to get myself right for American basketball. And then, so coming out of that, Montclair Prep was the first thing. Averaged a double-double my freshman year, all leagues, second year, Division V Player of the Year, 24 and 10. So I was had a level of confidence that I may not have developed if I had came to Crenshaw as a freshman.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because Crenshaw's, it's like you got to be ready for that stuff over at Crenshaw. So going in there as a freshman, it may have felt a little different. It may, you never knew what might have happened, because even as a junior, nothing was ever guaranteed. I had to earn everything I got at Crenshaw. So I think back now, it's like, imagine if I wasn't prepared for that type of thing, haven't competed at high levels and, been in games and actually, put in work. What if I didn't have that, experience? I don't know.
No, I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, having all these, great experiences at, Crenshaw, I only can imagine so many, like player of the year, state player of the year, city player of the year. What was your most memorable moment in high school?
Oh man, that's a great question. Most memorable moment, man, probably, gosh. Well, there's two. One includes me, another includes my team. But so my junior year, I guess the shot against Mater Dei at the sports arena to win the Southern California Regional Championship and to go to state. That's probably one of my biggest shots I ever hit in my career, except for a shot over in Qatar that I hit. We won a cup and we got a bonus of about $25,000. But this shot was big because it meant so much. There were doubters, naysayers about Crenshaw, and it was Crenshaw Mater Dei, which back then was the ultimate, just black school versus the white school, and that mattered back then. Like nowadays, nobody's into that, but back then, that shit
it meant
mattered.
everything. It meant everything.
It meant everything, and it was a lot of pride associated with that game, that matchup, and it was huge. It was huge. So when I hit a finger roll with as time expired from about 10, 12 feet out. Just, one of the most unorthodox shot attempts you'd ever see at the time, but they hitting them now.
Right.
Look at the league now, they taking stuff from finger rolling from 12 feet. I'm like, I've been on that.
Yeah.
Hey, I was on that in high school, dog. For game to go to the state, all right? So it was that was memorable. I mean, winning the city championship against Dorsey, I mean, that was a great time. There was a game against Washington that we played that was, really live over there. But Leon broke the backboard against Faith Baptist.
Remember that?
That's why I say that was memorable, because I'll never forget that.
No. Yeah.
When he missed that dunk, broke the backboard, and then the rim cut off his shoulder.
Yeah.
It was like a whole piece of his shoulder cut off, and he moved his arm, and you could see everything moving in there. I was like, I
remember that.
Yeah.
Man. Like I said, I told you, man, but I tell anybody this. I thought that Crenshaw team, like your senior year, my freshman year, was the greatest California team in history. I don't care. I was like, man.
They've been saying it.
Yeah,
they've been debating it. And so what they've done is they've ran some simulations, computer simulations with, factoring in, whatever factors of everybody's strength, however they do it. And we turned out to be the best team ever in California. Just
well, I believe it. Man.
Yeah.
I've seen, like you the person that I can rival me in like history of ball, because ball like I do. Like I've been watching city ball since I've been a kid. I was there when Manual beat Crenshaw when they had Kevin Ollie at the sports arena back in whatever it was, 90 something or 89, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I know I've seen ball. Yeah. So like that team was sick.
Well, it was much more than just the starting five. So when you take the starting five out of it, and then you look at everybody else that was on that team. And so then let's look at that, look at those names, and then throw our names in there in the starting five also, and then tell me what you get. You get like 12 dudes, 13 dudes that played college basketball, something ridiculous.
Yeah, that team.
I'm just saying, you just got a lot of dudes that was hooping, dog. I don't know. We had size. We walking around, everybody seemed like I was one of the shortest dudes on the team. It seemed like everybody was 6'5". Hey, everybody's 6'5" and 6'6" and just tall. It was so nice, dog. It was
for sure. I love, like I said, it was It was, like I said, one of the greatest memories. I was like, man, we were flying around, going to Florida, South Carolina.
Yeah, man, we was out.
Yeah, we was. I was like, man, we a high school team, or
the year before we went to Alaska. So the year before you got there, we went to Alaska for a tournament. We ended up losing to Trajan Langdon's team. The refs cheated us, but we had a great time. I mean, we went to a school. We went to an actual high school and went and spoke. It was like a panel, and they had us in the auditorium, dog. So we went to the school, and it was like they was going crazy. The chicks was going bananas, bro. And so it was, needless to say, it was an interesting trip in Alaska.
No, I believe it, man. Like I said, Crenshaw, different experience than any other high school scene I ever was on,
Oh, absolutely. It was cracking.
So, for sure. So your city player of the year, state player of the year, in my opinion, should have been a McDonald's All-American. But, I thought you and Trey both should have been McDonald's All-Americans, but that's another story. You signed with UCLA. Were there a lot of schools? Did you already know that he was going to UCLA? Were there a lot of schools that you were interested in?
So during the recruiting process, I really wanted to, just build relationships and talk to these coaches. It was at a time where I studied basketball, so I knew everything about it. And, so I knew all these coaches and who they were, and I read media guides and I looked them up. And so I just want to talk to them about stuff. And so I had a really fun recruiting time. The coaches that I took seriously as far as, in their recruitment of me, Kelvin Sampson at Washington State University. He saw the vision of my game as far as being he always was like, man, a lot of people don't understand. You can put the ball on the floor and pass, your vision. He was always Mr. I can score, but I have passing and vision. And he wanted me to, just kind of play harder on the defensive end. He felt like he can get that out of me. So I was thinking about going to see Kelvin Sampson out at Washington State. Rick Majerus over at Utah was another guy that I really loved. He kind of said what his thing was. I reminded him of a little bit of Brandon Jesse, who I guess he was watching. Brandon Jesse played basketball at Edison. He was a big monster back in the day, but he ended up playing there. But he said he reminded him, but I'm more skilled, this and that. He loved my game. So I was really, kind of looking at Utah like, okay. Then Arizona State with Bill Frieder, Coach Michigan when they won a national championship. Bill Frieder and Coach McCorn, George McCorn, rest in peace. George McCorn recruited me, and he had a history in LA area. He had coached at Verbum Day back in the day. I think he coached Raymond Lewis and them at Verbum Day, but now he was an assistant coach over at Arizona State. And that guy he can talk like you wouldn't believe. I love that guy. And so I was looking at Arizona State, I was like, yeah, because they was talking about stuff, playing and time. And obviously UCLA was in the mix. So UCLA's there with Romar. Coach Romar's recruiting me heavy. So, and I'd known Romar since I've been about 11, 12 years old because him and my dad played together. So it was just like, so that whole recruiting and then my biggest thing that I hooked up because I wanted to go there was Duke. So every summer I go to Atlanta to visit my mom. So once the summer, my sophomore to my junior year, I'm like, Dad, I'm trying to get up to Duke, see what's up with Coach K and them. They had just won a championship. I just wanted to be on campus. So we hooked it up. I flew up there, hooked it up at Duke, flew up there, took an unofficial visit. My man Kenny Blakeney, who's now the head coach at Howard, picks me up from the airport, takes me straight to Cameron Indoor. Walk in, Grant Hill, Tommy Amaker, Johnny Dawkins, they're there. I'm talking to them, chilling, so much love. Shoot around for about 45 minutes at Cameron Indoor. Then I go meet with Coach K. Coach K's like, yo, Kris, I love your game. Flattered you want to rock with us. He's like, I'm recruiting like 3 dudes at your position. It's a dude named Michael Maddox, and I think
I heard it. I remember him. I remember Michael Maddox.
Yeah, Mike Maddox. He was in love with Michael Maddox. I'm like, all right, man, whatever. He's like, so they offered me a walk on. They say I can walk on, and see what happens, and by your second year, you talk about a scholarship, blah blah blah. So he gave me that option. So I had options. Cornell was kind of my 6th, which was something I kind of just kept in my back pocket. I always wanted to do Ivy. So I had the grades for the Ivy League, and it was a coach over there that I liked a lot that saw the vision of my game. He said I would kill in that league and average a dub as a freshman. And he was just on one with me. I was like, yeah, I know, huh, coach. He's like, and you get a Cornell degree. He was like, and you get a Cornell degree. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh,
no, no. That's what you mean. Yeah, that's cool.
So those were kind of my options, Travis, and the schools that I was kind of the most serious about. At the end of the day, the opportunity to play at UCLA, a campus that I had practically grown up at, a program that I was extremely familiar with, had been familiar with since basically I was born, with my dad having won a championship there. And I had aunts that graduated from there as well that people don't even know about. So many people in my family are UCLA. I have a cousin just graduated. He's like 23 right now. He's going to be in graduate school at UCLA. So we're a UCLA family. And so at the end of the day, I really couldn't see myself, doing any of those other moves.
No, I remember, like I said, at Crenshaw, when Crenshaw remember the gym, the pickup games before the season started, and Lute Olson would be there, Rick Majerus. I'm just like, dude, these are the coaches I seen on TV at the pickup.
Yeah, that was nice.
And, I was like, I ain't never seen nothing like that, man. I was like, man, this is crazy.
Yo, that was nice, man. That was nice. It was flattering. It's credit to Coach West. The respect that coaches have for Coach West. A lot of times back then, you didn't even have to know who Coach West had. You just needed to know you needed to be there because he probably go have some dogs. So it was one of those. No, it was one of those things last year. I mean, it was one of those things back then in the 90s at Crenshaw. I think the impact of the program really has never really been explained or fully really talked about, just on how big time it was to play at the Shaw, just how much that it meant to be a part of the Crenshaw program.
No, I agree with you on that. All right. So you have all this. So, you go to UCLA. What's the biggest difference between college and high school?
I had some dudes playing in front of me.
They're just NBA dude. I get it.
No, that's the biggest difference. I had some dudes playing in front of me. In high school, I didn't. In college, I did. High school was tougher than college, in my opinion, as far as practices.
Oh, yeah.
As far as practices, it was tougher. Now, as far as the games, college was on a whole nother level. It was the speed, I'd say, it was definitely not that much faster. It was just everybody's so strong.
Yeah.
So you get tired a little quicker out there because they take it out of you, because there's 5 guys out there that have a level of strength, where in high school you had 1-2 guys that were strong and 3 guys probably just booty, right? No strength. But seriously, no strength.
No. Yeah.
Throw them around, pick them up, move, like that. In college, you're not doing that to nobody. Well, I was still housing dudes, but it wasn't like, it was dudes that were strong back, bro. It was like, dang, you strong, man. I ain't messing with you no more, man. I didn't know you was that strong, little man. Shit. I mean, that's kind of stuff I was doing in college. Talking to, hey, I didn't know you was that strong, dog.
I remember the only person I was for that was, if it was even on your level in strength in high school, was probably big Dayron Harris.
Yeah, so that's what Dayron, no question.
Yeah, but other than that, it was nobody.
But Dayron's a big old monster, dog. Dayron was 6'5". He a cop now or something. He's security or something. But hey, I got him on Facebook. When he posts his Facebook, he be having his heaters on him, man, all his equipment. Hey, big buff, been lifting and working out every day. I'm like, God, y'all have no idea about this dude.
No, I remember him from even 8th grade. He was talking about this big Dayron Harris. Him and Kris Johnson, man, they go at it back and forth.
Dayron. Well, Dayron is the only guy I can say that he got best of me, and I took the L on the same day. I mean, it was I still had 20 and 10, but it didn't really matter, because just the way that people felt after we played. I think it was my junior year. It was the first game. I think we were playing in the Washington Christmas tournament. They ended up beating us in the championship game or the 3rd place game or something. But he had a monster game. He just kept eating on the glass. Everybody was talking stuff about me. He can't get with Dayron. So I was just on a mission to kind of because we had to play him 2 more times. So the 2 more next times we played him in league, it was on, and we won both matchups.
I remember, like I said, senior year. I remember I was like, Kris about to start a riot in this thing. You know, Dayron pushed you, elbowed him in the head. I was like, I seen everybody in the crowd stand up. I was like, oh.
Hey, the one thing I can say that about me back then, it was that what people have to understand, like of our era, and the people that care, that know me, and that will watch this show, that know who we are. Back then, I had been playing against my dad one-on-one a lot, like for like 5-6 straight years. And so he never let me win. And anybody that's seen my dad at the time, he was about 6'7", about 250, big, strong, dunking, still moving. So it was like I was competing against him. I was basically his like test dummy, his workout partner for his comeback to the league. No, seriously. So that's kind of how it was. So when I went out into the real world, if you want to call it, and played against, you know, like the Dayrons and stuff, the fear factor just wasn't there for some reason, because my dad elbowed me in the mouth, throwing weights and shit at me, throwing dumbbells at me when getting fights and all type of stuff. I'm falling against the pole. I mean, it's all kind of stuff going on. So when I get to high school in Crenshaw, I'm looking around. I'm not really tripping, dog.
No, yeah. I hear you. I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt after y'all. Like, I was like, they ain't better than Kris and Tremaine. I should go against them every day in practice. And Kris would go out my head. He was a senior. I was a freshman. So, yeah. No, so at UCLA, obviously, you had some people ahead of you. And then you make this transformation with your body, which is...
That's a good point.
Yeah, you know, big thing, you know, from freshman to sophomore year and obviously and beyond. Explain to like everybody, like, how did you make that transformation? Because in college, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, I came into college 6'5", about 270 as a center. You can look it up. I was a damn center at 6'5", 270 at UCLA, and had injuries my freshman year. So my senior year, Crenshaw, I tore my knee. My freshman year, I did a bunch of stuff. Stress fracture, all type of stuff. And it was because I allowed Zion Williamson carrying too much weight on the trying to play a certain type of game where you're jumping and rebounding and, you know, jump hooking and trying to close out on dudes. That weight and the speed that it took, it was just a little bit too much. So it was funny. You know, we won the championship. I didn't play much, but I still was a part of the process, the journey, and enjoyed all the spoils of the victor. That like championship celebration run, I picked up probably about another 15 to 20 pounds. You know, we having fun. We eating. We at the White House. We at the premiere of Bad Boys. Hey, we out here. So we out here chilling. So, you know, I'm drinking. I'm 18, 19. I'm drinking everywhere. I'm just, you know, so I pick up a cool 20. Now I'm like 280. So I'm like 280. It's April. My roommate, Toby Bailey, I'll never forget it. Because I think, you know, people were noticing I was gaining weight, having a little too much fun. So my roommate, Toby Bailey, he kind
of... It froze for a minute, but keep going.
He was like, hold on. He was like, yo, man, I don't know about, is it recording?
Yeah, that was recording. It's recording.
He was like, yo, man, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to work on my game this summer. I'm trying to get in shape. And so he said that, and I kind of looked at him like, what does he think I am? Right, no, this is the summer now, and this is leading up to the story. It's Travis of me losing weight. Okay. So Toby says that sort of as a dig, like, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, you on that. So he never knew that hurt my feelings, but it did. But it also inspired me. It motivated me, because I was like, you know what, I'm about to, you know. So I go down to Atlanta, and I get off the plane. The first thing my mom was like, oh boy, oh no, we got to get you on a diet. Like, what happened? You know how your mom could be sometime when you gain weight. Hey, you know how your mom could be. Your mom would say, damn, boy, you got 2 chins now? Yeah. I mean, shit like that. I'm like, dang.
You be like, dang, mama, like, hey, I was feeling bad, but now I feel worse.
Hey, at the time, I was feeling good. So I'm all on my high horse, you know, loving life. And she just reality checks me when I get to Atlanta, like, yo, like, you know, whoop-de-whoop. So she's a vegetarian. My mom's been a vegetarian for 30, 40 years. She went to Horace Mann, went to Crenshaw, grew up on 60th and Crenshaw. So she's like, not only a vegetarian, but she also, she's not afraid to speak her mind. Mm-hmm. And so she made me go on a major vegetarian diet that summer where I couldn't eat meat. She was monitoring everything I ate, everything I did. She was also working out with me every morning. She'd make me go walking at 5:30 in the morning. We'd walk to, she lived in College Park, a Riverdale area of Georgia. So North Clayton High School. I think that's where 2 Chainz and then went to. 2 Chainz went to high school, but I work out on that track every morning with my mom in like one of those plastic trash bag weight loss suits so I could sweat it out. Then I go to the little gym, which was right around the way across the street. Work out with my man Danny. It was his gym. He just had a little cool gym. He was a former bodybuilder, but he had me on some shit, the workout, showing me how to maximize the cardio machines and just how to get the most out of certain things, because he didn't have like a lot of fancy equipment, but he still had enough. But he used to make me do a bunch of different stuff. It was sort of the first time in 1995 that I had been introduced to the workout where you do you go from, shoulders to tries to buys. You go to like 5, 7 different weight things, right? Mm-hmm. So he had me on that. So I was burning hella calories, burning hella weight. After the hour and a half walk, I go then I do another like 30, 40 hour cardio and the weights, and then go be a vegetarian. And then when my mom get back from work, we go walk again in the evening. That was my program. For 30 days. I lost 32 pounds in 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah. I ended up coming back. That's the summer I ended up coming back playing with Michael Jordan. He was at the Space Dome at filming Space Jam at the Jordan Dome. So I ended up hooping with him all summer. Ended up losing a total. I got down to about 212 by the time season started, looking like a whole nother cat, feeling like a whole nother cat, and playing kind of like a whole nother cat. Now I was a 2 guard. So I started at UCLA as a center, but now I had worked my ass off into being a shooting guard. So that's the story.
No, like I said, I remember it was in the LA Times. There was a picture of your freshman year. Yeah. And then it showed a picture of your, like, the college picture of your sophomore year. Yeah. It was like I forgot what the cover was, like Transformation of Kris Johnson.
It was Eschewing the Fat.
yeah. There we go. That's how I was like, I remember that, because I was like, man, Kris lost a lot of weight. And I remember my dad was like, you see, boy, that's that work. You got to put in that work. He immediately, Travis, see your boy putting that work. You got to put in that work like him.
You had to, man.
Yeah. Literally, for my sophomore year, I slimmed down about 30 pounds. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, because I went to Crenshaw. Obviously, we was in super shape. And then I went to Manual for the year and got bigger. The coach was like, Dolph was like, you need to get bigger to play center. So he was like, got little waist, but like, you need to get bigger. So, I started eating burgers and that kind of stuff. Yeah, to get like that kind of way, to get big. And I put on about 20, 25. And then Pops was like, I transferred and moved with my Pops, and he was like, oh, we got to get you to lose weight.
When you went to A.B. Miller?
Yeah, when I went to A.B., he was like, get you to lose weight. A.B. Miller's like Fontana's like a sauna in the summer. And, like I lost about 15 going in my junior, then another like 15 for my senior.
Yeah, the battle of the bulls, man, can make or break you, man. We're seeing it now with Zion, though, man. I mean, honestly, this is something we're qualified to talk about because we hooped with big frames, big bodies, bigger than 98% of everybody out there, pretty much as far as weight, that's playing basketball, that's competing on your level. I was always typically the biggest guy on the floor. Now, when I played against, say, maybe a Tony Gonzalez, a Dayron, that was like the only time that you had some dudes that were like bigger than you. But most of the other time, we were big. And how the game was back then. Plus, everybody was trying to run and press back then. Everybody was trying to pick up and and play fast. There was a level of, you had to be able to move. And Zion is finding that out now in the NBA, man, where moving and they play that space. Everybody's spacing and pace and space. So you got to run and you got to close out long angles. I mean, it's probably the closeouts that are hurting Zion.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. Every time I think about him having to run out somewhere hard and maybe slow down and challenge a shot, I'm like, dang, that's tough.
No, man. And like the fact that he can leap the way he leaps. Like, I think about the torque and like all the energy it takes on his body to, because he probably, if he have a 50-inch vertical, if he lost the weight, so
unbelievable. Yeah, hopefully he gets it together, man. They're gonna shut him down, man, and he's just got to hit the bike and be in the pool all the time, man. No contact on the leg, but you still got to lose some goddamn weight.
Yeah. He should do what you like, the cardio, like, not necessarily running, but maybe walking, sweat something,
Get in the pool. He got millions of dollars. Come on.
He can pay a trainer.
He can do it, but he can buy some shit that we ain't never heard of. I'm telling you, he can buy an underwater treadmill. He can buy like the state-of-the-art stuff, dog. LeBron spends $1 million a year on himself. People asking, everybody talking about LeBron, year 19. Yeah, dog. When you spend, like Tom Brady, when you spend that meal ticket on your body, dog, yeah, year 19 look like year 10.
No, I agree with you. So you have a great sophomore year. You're starting. Pretty much you have a great run, sophomore, junior, and senior year in college. You win a lot of games, Sweet 16, Elite Eights. What would you say was your greatest triumph in college besides the national championship? Because that's easy.
The national championship was great. I think it would have been greater for me if I would have played in it and been in the rotation. So for me, when I look at college, I look at my personal sort of high point as far as my performance. So I think, with 36, I dropped 36 on Cal at home. That was a nice high point. Knocking down, I hit 8 for 8 against Michigan in the tournament. Free throws at the last minute of the game, and that was big. They had Track the Trailer, rest in peace, and some other guys. So that was a big moment for me. I guess my moments were more just being involved in some of those just incredible matchups of the era, whether it be Arizona, whether it be Duke or whoever that we played at the time. It was great games, great battles, great competition. I always liked Duke, playing against Duke, so I can talk to Coach K after the game. That was always a high point for me. Just being cool with the coaches. I guess, just hanging out with the teammates. A lot of my high points, man, weren't on the court. So, I mean, what I'm saying? So it's like the court stuff, championship, Pac-12. We won 3 Pac-12s, won 100-something games. But I guess the friendships, the camaraderie, and, the experiences that you have with doing all that. Yeah. The day-to-day, the laughter in the locker room, the jokes, the funniness, when you're going up to the dorm or wherever you live, and the interaction there with whoever it is. I mean, those are the memories kind of that always will resonate and be important.
No, I understand. You think that was your biggest lesson in college? Just learning how to deal with relationships on your own and just doing everything on your own and just maturing to becoming a man?
No, I don't personally, because I felt like, I didn't use college for that. I think what I learned about, what I figured out about college or people because of college, was that when you're up, everybody is going to love you, but when you're down, they're not. And that's sort of like that was a sad, harsh reality I had to find out in college. Throughout, my course of my career, just my senior year, going through what I went through, just kind of seeing how people acted towards you. And then, you understand that college is sort of that time, and you should just leave it there because it was definitely a great time and this and that. And so, that's kind of, college was cool. I love the fact that I still have friendships with those guys. I'm glad it started there. A lot of guys I know since high school through college and before. So just, the college stop is a nice memory to have for a lot of reasons for that time in my life.
Okay. So you're all Pac-12 first team senior year.
No, I wasn't.
No, second team.
No, honorable mention.
What? That year? No, I was like, no, I thought for sure you was first team.
I averaged 21 a game.
I remember.
Honorable mention, dog. Mike Montgomery didn't vote for me or something.
Yeah, I remember, dog, because like I said, I remember the game win against Washington State at the buzzer, all the games at 20. Like I for sure thought you was like, I remember one of the games, The guy used to coach at SC. He was a commentator. I can't think of his name. He was like, "I'll eat your hat if he's not a first team Pac-10." Pac-10 off. I remember that. I still watch those games on sometimes.
Yeah. No, that was good.
George Raveling. There we go. George Raveling. There we go.
Yeah, Rav.
Yeah. So you have all this honorable mentions back to average 20, go to Sweet 16. So did you have any NBA looks after your college career ended? Or was it just straight, you thought you was gonna go, to play overseas or whatever?
No, I actually draft night, I was waiting on Utah to pull the trigger, I think at somewhere around 57 or 58 in the second round. Didn't happen. So went immediately to working out, prepping, staying in shape, and then there was a lockout hit. So the lockout hits, and it's sort of this like, whoa, it's kind of messed up for everybody. Nobody knows what they're going to do, where they're going to go. So I ended up going to the CBA, I believe, during the lockout. I believe, yeah. So I went to the CBA. So I went to Quad City. So yeah, I was trying to get into the league. CBA back then was just like the G League, it was a feeder to the NBA. I was trying to get to Quad City, had a bunch of guys playing in front of me, got familiar names from back in the day. But I still made my mark as a sort of a 3-point shooter. So, I was only getting like 12 minutes a game, but I averaged 8 points on 42% from NBA three. So I was coming in busting that ass. When I did get minutes, didn't get a lot of minutes, played for a guy named Dan Panaggio, ended up coaching for the Portland Trail Blazers. Didn't get a lot of minutes, kind of hurt my back. I think December or something, January rolls around, the lockout ends. After all this, I get back in shape. I go up to Minnesota's training camp with KG, Stephon Marbury, Sam Mitchell, a bunch of them, Anthony Peeler, a bunch of them type of dudes, Troy Hudson. Ended up staying there for about a week and a half. Not the last cut, but one of the last cuts. And then directly after I got cut, I went and took a job, I believe in Russia, for about I think it was like they wanted me to play. A team was about to get relegated to the second division. They had like 6 games or something, but they're giving me like something sick, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it for 6 games. Right? Back then it's like, shit, 6 games? You talking this? And it's well over 10 racks. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Like, what the fuck? I get out there. They on some weird stuff. So they trying to give me more racks to like throw the game. And it's just like all type of stuff. So I'm like, look, man. I didn't even play the last 2 games. I ended up sitting out. I'm like, yo, y'all got it, man. I'm just send me back. Give me my little money and send me to the crib, man. So that was Russia. So right after I got home to Russia, I get a call from a buddy of mine that coached. He was at UCLA. Darren Sorensen?
Yeah.
So Darren calls me, and he had coached out in Qatar on the new junior national team. So he's like, yeah, these guys are looking for a player in Qatar. So I'm like, Qatar? And this is, hey, and this is 9/11. So this is the December of 9/11. So 9/11 went down in September. They trying to tell me to go to the Middle East, but they was talking about something, I'm like, look, I didn't really have, so at the time, what was I doing? I was chilling. I was like, I think I was at home. Something had happened. I think I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Ended up, it was my best basketball. I played my best basketball as a pro up there. Ended up getting, having to go home because of something I did. It was so stupid. But, I didn't get in trouble for it, except I got released because of it. But ended up getting the call from Darren, then hitting Qatar. Get to Qatar. So now it's like, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't know what's up. It's 9/11. It's right after 9/11. And I'm in the belly of the beast. So I get to Qatar, man. The first, as soon as I get off the plane, they want me to play in the game. I get off the plane. I get to the house about 1:00 in the afternoon. I gotta go at 5 to go play in the game. I'm like, dang, they out here crazy, tripping with it. Because they trying to get me on a flight. If I'm sorry, they're trying to get me on a quick flight on the next one, you know, and bring another dude in. You know how them dudes be.
Yeah, they're
horrible. They're
no,
horrible.
No.
And then they'll try to smile on your face and act like they the homie. That's why I'm like, look, hey man, come on, man. So look, get over there, got to play in the game, have 37 at the game, you know, drop like 7 threes and just, you know, had a bad game in my opinion, but they just was loving it. I'm like, all right, cool. So in the locker room, you know, the dude, he's got on the thing, you know, he's got on his whole little garb. He comes up to me looking like a sheik. He's like, yeah, man, you know, I'm trying, you know, we're trying to give you, we never pay our professionals more than like 4,000 a month. I was like, 4 racks? I was like, dog. At the time, that wasn't, I mean, they make more money now, but at the time I was kind of like, nah, man, I had just got off, I had to rush the hookup. So I knew what time it was. I'm like, oh no, I'm out. You know, I'm like, oh no, I'm out. This is like, I still got my tape on, my little knee things on. I'm in my little sweat. I'm like, oh no, I'm out, man. Send me home, man. And then everybody was kind of like, you know, it got quiet. I'm like, what? I'm like, why get quiet? Like, you don't know what to stay? You know what to stay? I'm like, no, I don't want to stay for no 4 rackers. You know, this and that. So then eventually they try to negotiate with me. So that I said, okay, let's sleep on it. Chris, wake up, come tomorrow. We'll talk more. I'm like, look, man, I know one thing. I ain't got to sleep on it to know that I'm not doing this for no 4 racker a month. I know that for a fact, bro. So whatever I sleep and whatever happens tonight in my dream and all that, it don't matter. I'm waking up with the same standpoint, bro. So everybody's like, oh, don't get angry. So anyway, next day, they bring in another guy, kind of like the top guy. You know, I have to meet with him, this dude named Codanello, the big shake. And so he kind of, you know, he comes up on the price a little bit. And, you know, I agree to do it. They gave me a real, like, you know, bonus laden, you know, a lot of bonuses. They came up a lot on it. But I was like, look, I can't live in the place, man. Y'all got to give me a spot that's legit. They try to put me in with like 4 other cats.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Man. I was like, yo, man, you guys need to like understand how to treat the professionals over here. So it's funny because I was basically the first professional over there that kind of, you know, put his foot down, demanded it. They wanted me to play. They wanted me to stay. So I was like, yo, I need a spot. I need this. I need a taxi allowance. Y'all ain't gonna give me a whip. I need a taxi allowance, this and that. I ended up staying there 4 years.
Okay.
We ended up winning an Asian championship, club championship. We beat Sham Godwells and J.R. Henderson. They were playing for Saudi Arabia. We beat them in the final in Malaysia. Hey, big bonus. The first championship that the club ever won in its history. And guess who my profession? Guess what? So they had J.R. and Sham God. Guess who I had?
Who?
Stace Bozeman.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I brought Stace out there.
Right.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna bring the boss out here and let you sick him on y'all. Hey, nobody in any tournament had anything to do with Stace. Stace balled he was locking everybody up, and I was just putting in like 30. That was it. He was guarding the toughest dude. It was one of the greatest just tandems, dude. If you could, because you know, Stace is a lockup dude.
No.
He's gangster with it,
yep.
And he's an incredible athlete that could have played professional football. So that's what people got to understand. He could have been a football guy. So when he's out there guarding these guards or getting on the glass, his game is just like, it's incredible. Like they still talk about it, they still ask about him. So we won. We won because of him and Yassine. Like I was doing my thing, but my other guy is a big dude named Yassine. He's like 6'8", 6'9". He like the Jordan of the Middle East over there. He's like, man. But anyway, he was jumping over dudes, dunking. I mean, pinning it on the glass, then pushing it like Scotty Dimes. Oh, we were live. Hey, we were live. Hey, we were live in Qatar. We were live in Qatar.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I didn't even know it was like that. I didn't even know it was like that.
Yeah, my first year we got to the championship. Second year we won the championship. And so, man, Qatar was a beautiful experience because it allowed me to travel. So in the off season, you know, I would hit, you know, Maldives. I go to Thailand. I go to Europe. I go to Egypt with my boys. I bounce to Dubai every couple of days. You know what I'm saying? It became ridiculous over there.
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous.
It became ridiculous over there. No, I was traveling a lot. So I would stay. So we have breaks. You know how overseas sometimes they got these weird breaks. Well, in Qatar, they be having the month off move. So they'll like in the middle of the season, oh, we don't play for a month. I'm like, dang, when we practice again? Oh, in about 3 weeks. Where am I supposed to? What?
3 weeks I'm just here.
I'm just, Kris will pay you to stay here, and hey, no, okay. Hey, we'll pay you. I'm like, okay, as long as you'll pay me, I'll do whatever, dog. No, so during those times, man, I traveled. I got to see the world, man. I went to Kuwait. I went to a wedding in Saudi Arabia. I had to wear the thing. I wore the thing to a wedding. We drove to Saudi Arabia. It was sick. Then Egypt. I mean, spent about 4 or 5 days in Egypt. Got to see the pyramids. Went down to Alexandria and some other places all throughout the country. Man, so that was the best part of it. The team we were great. I set off a string of events later. Billy Knight ended up hooping there, playing for my same team. Todd Day ended up who played at Arkansas and played.
Remember Todd Day?
Todd Day ended up playing there, and so after there was a lot of guys. They've become they're the premier team in that region. They were for a long time before my guy retired. So it was a wonderful experience. But I played there for 4 years. But then I bounced after 4 years because I had an opportunity with the Hawks. So I went to camp with the Hawks, and I ball at the Hawks camp, dog. Lenny Wilkins is loving me. I'm running the floor and I'm knocking down my mid-ranger. Okay. last day of the Hawks workout, of the Hawks training camp. I close out on a shot, right knee forward, boom, hyperextend my knee, that was it, boop, he hit the shot, gang. All right, bring it in, fellas. I'm walking over to the dang huddle like, shit, my knee, I gotta hurt my knee. Turned out, man, I done tore my meniscus right before Hawks camp. I trick off my Hawks. I can't go to Qatar now. I actually had more bread and Syria on the table, and this dude trying to get me to come to Syria for some big money and some just all type of stuff. So I'm like, all right, I had to tell him. He's like, oh man, I'll fly you to Germany and rehab you though. The Syrian dude wanted to fly me to Germany to rehab and then come to Syria and rehab and get ready. That's how much they was on me in Syria. I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna chill. So I chilled, ended up coaching at Verbum Day with my man DeAnthony Langston. Getting back into shape, practicing, playing against them. And then for my last professional experience, right after all of that happened, as far as Verbum Day coaching and kind of get back into shape, I got a call from Lebanon. A guy by the name of Fouad Aboushar called me. He was the head coach of a team called Riyadi, which is one of the premier teams in Lebanon at the time. They was always in the mix, really big club. And the Lebanese league at the time was sort of a rival to the Qatar league. They kind of looked down on Qatar as if, guys that played there, the numbers that were coming out of there, dudes couldn't do that in Lebanon. It was kind of the assumption. And so they called me to come through to a tournament in Dubai. We got a hell of a team. There's a guy named Tony Madison, a light-skinned dude from LA. He went to Locke or something. He played in New Orleans. I don't know if you know Tone, but Tone was so nice, man. About 6'3" guard, kind of strong. But so it was his team. He was the point. It was basically his team. But they had a big white boy named Joe Vogel that went to Colorado State, played in the league.
Okay, I feel like I know. I heard of Tony Madison and Joe Vogel sounds familiar too.
And they had another dude named Ishmael Ahmed, who was an Egyptian player who had played at the Heat camp. Big 6'7", 260, buff, big hand, just sweet Egyptian. Like one of the sweetest one of the sweetest hoopers of all time. Like this dude's level of just being big and just coming down on you. I was like, what? Hey, Ish, we used to call him Ish. Hey, Ish, 5 out. Hey, back then, Ish 5 out up top, 6'7", 260. Yeah. I was like, what? No, Travis, I kid you not. I was amazed. And then the dimes. Oh man, it was like, yo, so I played a role on this team because they wanted to win this tournament. It was a big tournament in Dubai. So long story short, we ended up winning. In the final, we ended up playing the second best team in Lebanon called Suggest, which is like a world-renowned club for them over there. We ended up beating them. I ended up locking the top player. They put me in for defense. I ended up locking the dude up. I was like, that's how off everything was back then, because my jumper was off, right? Because my game was kind of nasty coming back. I remember I had to come back. I got hurt and all that.
Yeah.
Dog, I get back. I get to Lebanon. I'm a defensive stopper now. So
that would have been funny to hear. People that said, Kris, defensive stopper? What?
Hey, I was guarding dude. So I held the dude to 6. He was averaging like 30 in the tournament. He only had 6. I was a strong man in him. So I ended up getting signed. So they ended up, so that night winning championship is a big deal. I love that experience for that little tournament with that team, because them guys were real fun and real cool. So we ended up winning the championship. And get a call from Fouad. He's like, Kris, come to my room. So I go down to his room. He's like, oh, we have 4 teams in Lebanon that want to sign you. He's like, this is not normal. And so I don't want to act like your agent, because I am a coach in the league, but I can give you the number and you can handle it. I was like, all right, cool. So he gave everybody a number that I needed to talk to. And so I ended up negotiating on my own. Then I got signed by this team called Antranik, which was a club that was on the verge of being relegated. So it was an Armenian club, but they're on the verge of being relegated, and so but they came with good bread, and so I spent probably 3, 4, 5, 6 months out in Lebanon. Unfortunately, while I was in Lebanon, they assassinated the prime minister mid-season, so they had to shut the whole country down. It was they used the 800-pound car bomb to blow up his whole carcade, whatever they call it,
motorcade.
Yeah, the motorcade.
Yeah.
They blew it up with they ran a truck into it, a little truck with 800 pounds of C4. They blew up a whole block. Yeah. So and this guy was like his name is Rafik Hariri. He was like the father of modern day Lebanon. He was like a big deal out there. So they shut down the company. They shut down the whole league. They shut down the league. So I was out there chilling for a little bit, because I was waiting on my money. Because they'll hold up your money and whatever. So I'm like, yo, I'm not bouncing to y'all. Get my money and I will go to the embassy, bro. So so anyway, I'm chilling out in Lebanon. And by the way, I led the league in scoring. By the way, when they said, because I'll never forget it, dude. They said I wasn't gonna be able to do that in this league. I was like, all right. I averaged 30 something. I was like 30.8 in Lebanon. I was averaging, I swear, people don't believe me, I was averaging like 37, 36 in Qatar all 4 years. Like it was just bucketsville from deep.
They didn't know how to handle the mid-ranger, man.
And by that time, Trav, I was shooting the long 28 footers, like my senior year pull-ups from deep. Hey, I had expanded on that. So okay. I was Mr. just like now off the bounce from deep threes and just raising. Hey, deep threes. Hey, you know exactly.
Yeah, I know the move. I'm like, cross,
you know the move. Shot. Yeah. Let me get into my shot process. So no, man. So that was a good time, man. But by the end of Lebanon, right, it was just like it was crazy. It just got all bad over there. I ended up leaving there with a bad experience, a bad taste in my mouth. But I did get my money, get home. I'm kind of, going through the, just still recovering from the trauma of dealing with all that, because it was a scary time when I was in Lebanon, man. People were actually like advising me where to go, where not to go. They may bomb here. They may blow you up there. It's a Christian area. It's a Muslim area. It was like a whole mind fuck that was going on, man. I was like nervous about moving in the streets out there now. Should I go to the store right now? Should I go to this one, or should I try to, you have to think like that. It creates a level of like tension inside of you, right? So you're always like, man, what the hell, man? Am I gonna get blown up today? So I got home and I was decompressing. I was resting. I wasn't working out as much, but I was still hitting the bike. I wasn't hooping as much. And then JR calls me from Japan, JR Henderson. He's like, yo, Stani, I'm playing in a tournament in China, and we need a guard. He was like, you want to come through? Here's what it is. If you play well, we'll sign you for the season. Here's what it looks like. And it was like one of the best deals I'd ever been presented with as a professional. And because in Japan they do you right. So they flew me out there. I'm on business class. It's like they come in with the real. Yeah, they give me my own luggage. I had the big luggages. I was like, yo, y'all got your own luggage, bro? Yo, so I get there. It was probably one of my just most fun experiences I'd ever had being in China with JR and his team, his Japanese team. Just enjoying the culture, the peacefulness of the Japanese culture, and just the way they were, just kind of just exposed me to a different side of different types of humans. So, and I was with JR, so he was like, my guy from college. I know JR since I was 12. But so just to see how JR was with them. And so it inspired me to sort of act differently, live there. And I had so much fun on that trip. Unfortunately, I ruptured my L4 and my L5 in the last game over there. Yeah, man, injuries like a mug, dog. So I ended up screwing up my back. They couldn't make the team, flew home, couldn't stand up. The day after I got off the flight, I couldn't stand up no more. I had to get several epidurals just to loosen me up. And then go through extensive rehab and other treatments for my back. And so that's what shut me down. Then I ended up retiring after that.
Wow, man, that I never known the story. That's why I definitely wanted to add. I never known the story of like how you retired and stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, dog. That's how I go. Yeah, injuries were the bane of my existence throughout high school, college, and pro. And I think a lot of it has to do, as we touched on earlier, just dying and carrying that weight. Always being able to lose a lot of weight in a quick amount of time as a professional athlete. Back then, now they maintain it. Now you don't be seeing a lot of dudes getting overweight, except Zion like the only one. But back in the day, it'd be like 8, 9, 10, 12 dudes, like 2 dudes a team.
But that's BD? Because they did. Yeah, BD was the gift and the curse. He would get out of shape and then get in shape.
That's what I said. BD, like they just think BD, how BD could get to be like 240, 250 in the off season with a big shoulder. And he'd be all wide. He'd be walking. I'm like, damn, BD, buff ass. You know what I'm saying? BD get real buff, but then it takes a toll on your body, especially when you play a certain type of style, a certain type of game. I was posting up a lot. I'm even as a guard. I was mid post. I was low. I was whatever. Like we'll get it. I'll catch it on the wing on you. And be in a post position and be like from the wing. Okay.
Yeah,
from the wing, buddy.
I got you. No, I remember. So I got you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, that's a like a heck of a story, to be honest, Kris. So you retire from Japan. That's your last year. How many years did you play total? Was it like 10 plus or?
No, it was right around, so you include France. I went to France for 3 months. It puts me probably about 7 years. 7 or 8 years. Hold on. Somebody's calling my phone. 7 or 8, Trav.
Yep.
Sorry. My phone was ringing. It's about 7 or 8 years.
No, it's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Where are you? Hold on. Let me see where you are. Hold on. I lost you. All right. There you go.
Okay. Right. Okay. Man, like I said, so after you retire, what's the next thing that happens? What do you do?
So I retire. I go through sort of a major rehabilitation for my back for about 8 or 9 months, which put me down. Didn't have medical insurance, and so had to do it out of the pocket, which really sucked.
Yeah, and I remember that too.
Yeah, and then got into TV. So got an opportunity to work with a company called Fox Sports Interactive, which now is like Fox Sports West and all that. But they were like, it was like the big digital media part of everything back in 2006, 2007. So I co-hosted my own show, weekly show with my dad. It was called Beyond the Net or something. So we used to do a show, every week on the internet, which led to me doing I did high school games for Fox. I started doing little local college stuff, sideline reporter, color analyst. I
remember all that. Watched you all that.
Yeah, ended up doing all that, and then I mean, just that's lasted, for a little while. And then in 2011, I was out in New York with Steve Lavin. He was going through some stuff with his, he had prostate cancer. He was going through things. And so I went out to New York to work his camp that summer, 2011. and ended up staying till about December. Ended up staying with him, and just, we were doing yoga every day, and just kind of, just being Lav, dog, and just, on the daily, but really got close with Lav. So ended up introducing me to a guy that had a startup. He had made this app that basically digitized the player evaluation process for coaches. So it was like, it was an app. You open it up, you could, use the camera to sort of, video player. You could, use the mic to talk, have notes on the player. You can use the little stuff to take notes and little ratings and stuff. It would save it on the phone, send it up to a server. You can view your information on your computer. So it was a really exciting opportunity. And he wanted me. So I interviewed with the guy when I was out in New York. We spent a two-day interview, and he wanted me to come on as an executive, as one of the first 3 employees on his startup. And so I ended up joining his startup. It was called Sports Board, and I ended up being with him for 7 years. And I wore a number of different hats as far as working in corporate, from sales to, strategic alliances to marketing to all type of stuff, just doing the heavy lifting on a lot of things on startup work, which is, it's nothing really glorious or glamorous. It's crazy shit you actually got to do as far as grinding. But I spent 7 years with him, and that gave me a chance to really develop and develop a lot of relationships with coaches, different professional sports teams and organizations on the executive level and on the technical level. And so that was an interesting time. I was still doing some TV stuff. I worked remote. He was based in Sausalito, California, which is right outside of San Francisco. So I'd go up there probably twice a month, spend about a week out of every month up there. And I did that for 7 years, man. Ended up leaving them. The company's no longer around, but he was around for about 10 years, but it was a great run. Ended up leaving them. A friend of mine approached me with an investment opportunity in the city of Torrance for a blow dry bar, which is basically a hair salon, like Supercuts, but it's for women and like getting there, women and men, but mainly women that want to get blowouts or like a quick style instead of having to like wash their hair and spend spend 3 hours on it. You spend 45 minutes, you look like, $150 when you come out. So I did that for about 3 years until COVID shut us down, which absolutely sucked. And then, just trying to figure it out like a lot of us are. Now sitting good though, have some real estate opportunities that we're looking at, and I'm on the crypto, and I got my podcast that's actually doing pretty good. So life is not horrible, but still just pushing and grinding, bro.
No, I hear you, man. And like I said, I've listened to your show, many times, and in some ways, you inspire me, because I was like, Kris has done it, like his journey's similar to mine, like he did the overseas thing. And I was like, man, why not try to do something different, for athletes,
Yeah, no, it's great. I think the thing I like to talk about with us athletes that spent a large portion of our lives gaining work experience in a field, right? Basketball or whatever sport you play, that doesn't necessarily matter once you come back here. I find that to be, that's interesting to me. It's like we're athletes at times, former athletes are penalized for not having, when we enter the real world, it's like, we don't have a certain level of experience doing a certain type of thing. And when we take ourselves to the level, to the place where we do have experience, it doesn't, sometimes, we don't, 9 times out of 10, they ain't rocking with us either. So it's like, dang, man, where do we go?
Where do we go? Exactly.
You go to high school and you go to the no pay job, because that's what they think about you.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's real. Like when I retired, I had stress fractures in both my shins. I still got steel plates in both my shins to this day. Jeez. I remember like I had my son, he was 3 years old at the time.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to provide for him. So I went to work for Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I need some money. I don't necessarily want to train or coach. So, you know, I was like, I need a corporate job, whatever, sales, I guess, make some money, you know, just depressed, drinking a lot, you know, just not knowing what I'm gonna do in my life, just super depressed. You know, and just building everything to where we're at now, where, you know, better. It's still not where I want to be, but still better than where I was. So
I think the main thing to keep your eye on is that this is only temporary, and you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And so you need, you know, just focus on that, focus on getting through every day, you know, and then living your best day possible. And you put together a string of your best days, and they turn into weeks, which turn into months, which turn into years now. And you'll be fine, man. You know, we all go through stuff, man, and it takes a big man to talk about it and to admit certain things that go on in their lives. And what you'll realize once you talk about certain things and certain topics is that there's other people out there going through the exact same thing as you, and that wanted to hear somebody talk about the exact thing that you were scared to talk about. And so, no, I'm just telling you, that's just how it goes.
No, that's real.
It's such a trip. It's such a trip because you be so scared to bring some shit up, and then you bring it up, and you just get everybody want to talk about it. It's like, oh, damn, okay. Well, I need to just be honest more and just tell you what I'm thinking. Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I agree with you 100%. 100%, bro. 100%, big bro. So, well, I got 2 more questions, and then we'll be through with the interview, man.
Okay.
This first question is, what was the best thing that you experienced while you were overseas for your career?
For my career, well, the 2002 Asian Championship, Club Championship was a big deal. We you know, that was a big deal for us. The country of Qatar had never won one, so that was huge. And, you know, I think that was the highlight, man. I mean, I didn't win shit in Russia. I didn't win shit. I was in Turkey too. Got kicked out of Turkey because I was dating like the Madonna of Turkey. She ran up on me at the mall. I didn't know she was like that with it, but I ended up finding out. She was a big star, a singer over there, and the club, it was pissed off, salty that the Black American took one of our women. It was like, hey, they was mad, man. They was mad. Them dudes, I had like, yo, man, y'all tripping, man. She chose me, bro.
Right.
But I ended up they ended up releasing me. So that sucked. Yeah. So I had a lot of like ups and downs over there as far as overseas, but you know, when the Qatar, that's why I talk about the Qatar thing. Hello?
Yeah, I can. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
My ear was closed up.
Oh, no. I hear you.
I can only hear you out of one ear. I was like, what the hell? Did I just lose my hearing? God damn it. So it's pretty much the Qatar, man, when we won the Asian Championship. That was
Okay. And so pretty much the last question is like, you know, this is like, you know, the big one is at some point, you know, in our careers, just as playing sports, since you played when you was a young kid to now, we go through these, you know, these down moments, right? How did you get out of that? How did you get up from your worst moment of doing your career? You know, how did you get out of it?
I think it's faith in the Lord, faith in myself, that I could, and also there's also a level of self-awareness that I think that I'm not going to say I have more than others, but I know that I'm very aware, self-aware. I know when I'm wrong. I know when I'm right. So I know, you know, when I was down, there's points in my career where, you know, I'd be down and this and that. And, you know, I'd have to go home and put on some Sade and calm down. I always notice that once you calm down and keep things into perspective in your down moments, everything doesn't seem like as big as a deal as it does. So I tried to focus on things that I did have, the blessings, and things like that. I mean, I obviously, you know, I partied a lot, I drank a lot. I did those things as a way to try to mask certain issues or try to take my mind off of the harsh reality of, you know, like in Qatar, for instance, that I'm fucking in Qatar. I'm in the middle of the desert somewhere and I'm not in the league chilling. I gotta hang out with these dudes. So I might as well get blasted. Because I don't want to think about them dudes in LA right now hanging out with Kobe and shit. And I'm over here in Qatar, dog. Hey, I'm over here in Qatar.
No, that's real. I remember being in Estonia, man. Like I was in a blizzard, just looking out, like, man, what the hell am I doing here, man?
Man, hey, but so you know that even in my personal life today, you know, a message that I could tell to your listeners that I believe in, and I'm not anyone perfect or anything like that, but I do know that there are some things that help me cope with certain things. It's, you know, it's really just being focused on or focusing on the positives of yourself, of loving yourself. It sounds like a cliche, but people, they say love yourself all the time. You're like, well, I do love myself, but do you really love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to not hurt yourself? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what we always got to remember. You know, what is love? You know, what is my definition of love? And
right.
do I apply it to myself? And so you guys, so that's something that I try to keep in mind, man. And, you know, and then I'll talk to somebody. Like, I have no problem admitting that I've seen counsels 25, 30 years. You know, I have people that I've talked to, 3 people that I've talked to about over the last 30 years that are professionals that I share my deepest, darkest thoughts and you know, things with, and I'm able to, you know, somehow, some way cope with whatever life presents.
No, man, that's a heck of a statement. I think a lot of people, as well as athletes, needs to hear it, man. You know, like just how you get out of, you know, like low times, dark times. You know, it's a great thing.
It's an important conversation. I think it's a reason why, you know, look, on the internet today, a lot of the content is sort of based in a lot of laughter, a lot of joking, and it does make me bust up, and it is funny, and it's great. But I think that, you know, it would be nice for a balance of voices like yours, voices like mine, voices that are willing to address and talk about these type of topics from a masculine standpoint, a male standpoint.
Agreed.
Because getting men in a room and having a conversation about feelings and emotions for so long was shunned and looked at as if you were a bitch or a punk. Excuse my language, but that's what you would be called. That's what you would be called.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
And so it was shunned. And so now, as we at our age, our era, our generation, and we have kids that are coming up in the almost polar opposite of a culture that we came up with, different emphasis and, you know, bullying. You can't call nobody fat boy no more. I mean, there's just all type of stuff. You can't make fun of a dude's shoes or nothing. Look, your mom might lose her job, bro. If they put that on social media, you making fun of somebody's shoes, that your mom might lose her job. Like, it's all kind of stuff they on now. I'm like, dang, man. Right. So for what I'm saying is, there needs to be, you know, I guess the camaraderie, the brotherhood aspect. So men need to have a place, a safe space to be able to talk about stuff that's going on, they struggle with, that they can't talk to their wife, their girlfriend, or their mama about. But they need to talk to another man that's going through a similar situation, that has a similar background, that has, you know, similar experiences, man, because you get like-minded or people that have similar experiences and a common ground to stand on. The understanding typically, as I found, has been much greater between those two, because there's a lot that goes into, you know, being a professional athlete and not making it to the highest level. So when you don't make it to the NBA, you know, you walk around your whole life with the stigma. And people look at you with the stigma. People, oh, so who did you play for? Oh, I didn't play in the NBA. I played. Oh, okay. But let me say, oh, I played like 3 weeks with the Bucks. Oh, you did? Can I Google it? Oh, my mama want a picture. Can I take it? I mean, it would get ridiculous.
Right.
And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it, but people gotta understand that like, that's what we go through in life. And so, and there's a lot that goes along with that. That goes into being down. It's not just not making it to the NBA. It's everything else that comes along with not making it to the NBA. I think that's the part that people don't understand. Fuck making it to the NBA. I needed that goddamn paycheck, dog. What the hell? You know how up them dudes are on us? God damn. Them dudes are up.
Yeah, agreed. Hey,
look, man, it's facts, dog. It's facts. I mean, I'm not going, it's facts. Y'all are up, dog. Golly. But so loving yourself, being comfortable in your own skin, loving who you are, who you turned out to be. That's the most important part at this stage of the game, man. Because when you come up like we did and we're surrounded by all these and our peers or this, that, it can mess with you, man. This depression stuff, dude, it's like, yo, we got to get out of that. It's like, okay, it is what it is. Like, okay, I don't, I didn't make the league or whatever it is we're depressed about. We need to move forward and then make this your best act. Make the second act your best act.
Agreed. Well, thank you, Kris, man. Gosh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's knowledge, funny, realness, all wrapped into one, man. I just, like I said, I appreciate it, man, for you finally coming on the show. Because, you hurt my feelings when you didn't come on the last time. So yeah, I was like, it was real sad.
I'm sorry. But you knew we was gonna get it done, bro.
No, we knew. Yes, I knew.
You knew we was gonna get it done at some point.
Yeah,
at some point, man. It was gonna happen out the blue.
I was like, yeah, man. Like definitely. We gonna get this done. So
absolutely.
Like, so I appreciate it, man. Let the listeners know where they can find your show. And where they can find you.
Yeah, my on Twitter, I'm at @PointForwardPro. POINT forward pro, one word. On Instagram, I'm Kris Johnson Live. You can listen to my podcast on Apple Music. Just search KJ Live. That's the name of the podcast. We're 15 episodes deep, about to record about a bunch more. Got a lot in store for 2022. So we're excited about the upward trajectory of the pod. I think that's it. Oh, Reddit. You can find me on Reddit too, Kris Johnson Live. I'm usually trolling on there, creeping in and out of groups and posting and stuff. So
all right. Well, like I said, Kris, thank you very much, man. Like I said, we're gonna continue this journey with an athlete's journey. Like I said, this is like I consider somebody like my big brother, man, who taught me so much. He don't even know how he taught me so much. But I watched him, from 8th grade. When he first met me in Vegas, he probably don't remember. I was scared. He came up to me with like a couple guys. You going to Crenshaw next year? Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I believe. Yeah, I'm playing NBA Jam. I'm like, I thought he was going to challenge me. He was like, you going to Crenshaw? Yeah. Go to Crenshaw. So now remember that. You know what I'm saying? Got much love for Big Kris, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.